Hi, I am Miss Fabulous. Join me on our first episode of Smooches in the City, where we will discuss whether or not social media has an effect on our love life. We will also discuss the do's and don'ts of online dating. And if you've already found love, what is too much to share about your relationship? And will it help or hurt the relationship? Welcome to Smooches in the City. Today we have Lanitta and Steven Spann. They're just recently married and they also have an online show called Mental Stimulation. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Well, let's just get into the meat of it all. How did you guys meet?
Well, there's a discrepancy on how we met.
Uh-oh.
According to her, we met online, but I moved back to Philadelphia in 2010, and I saw her at our class reunion.
Oh,
We
y'all went to
actually-
school together.
Yeah, we went
Well,
to.
we went to the same school, but not together.
Okay.
I had never saw him, and he never saw me in high school. We just found out
That you went to the same school.
at our reunion.
Okay.
So we graduated class of '92 together. Never saw each other. Didn't know each other, but when I saw her at the reunion, that's when I first discovered her.
So at the reunion, did you know through conversation that she was the one, or did it take time?
We never had a conversation at that time.
At the reunion, y'all never talked?
I just
No.
saw him there.
Okay.
We were both in our first marriages at that time. He was married to a guy.
Okay.
No, I just saw him.
Okay. So then you reconnected online.
We connected online.
Okay.
Basically, what happened was I was good friends with her best friend, and I had an event that I was bartending at, and I knew once I got out of my situation, I knew that I wanted to actually
back
meet her.
together.
And this
Mhm.
was actually like 2010 that I saw her at the reunion, and it wasn't until 2016 that I actually decided to approach her, only because, like I said, we were
Okay.
both we were I was in my situation. So at that time, once I was out of my situation, that's when I said I wanted to reach out to her. And going back to her best friend, I knew her best friend really well, so I knew that if I invited her to the event, that she would come too.
Okay.
So I ended up giving her and her friend tickets to the event that I was having, and they showed up.
Very
Nice.
nice. So how long did you guys date before y'all made it like a commitment? Not the marriage part, but just decide that
I
this was something
think
serious.
we've been together since our first date.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you knew from that moment, once y'all
Yeah.
connected after the event,
Yeah.
that he was your guy.
Well, I didn't know he was. I always told him he just felt safe to be around. So we just kind of hung out, and he grew on me.
What made you guys decide to take your relationship publicly and discuss it on social media?
Well, I had thought about mental stimulation a long time ago, and basically, I wanted to have communication with people on different topics. Like one of the first topics that we had talked about was, should marriage license have renewal dates?
Absolutely.
And I and I think that stemmed from where I was at in my relationship at the time prior to this, and that's what caused me to say, you know what, maybe we need to start opening up discussions about different things that people are having a hard time with talking about. So once I got with Lanitta, she heard the idea and she just wanted to fly off with it, and she was like, we need to do an online presence, and that's how we got to this.
How do you feel having this platform that it helps your relationship and also helping others?
Well, sometimes I think when you only have your point of view, that's pretty much that's all you have. When you post a question, a lot of people, the questions that we have, because we post up a lot of topics, things that are based on our relationship or hypothetical questions, like things we know about other people, and we pose questions and we get other people's perspective, and it makes us, for us, it makes us see things just through other people's lens.
Okay. So it's kind of like therapy for you guys also.
Yeah, it is.
Very nice. Now, the topics that you discuss, are they situations that you actually experience, or are they just in general, like what couples may go through, and or things that you might have heard through friends and other experiences?
Well, not all the time. There the things that we go through, just different things that we, hear from other people going through in their relationship. Just hypothetical questions a lot of times.
Now, being so open with the platform that you have you received any backlash from other people and their opinions of what they may think that you guys are dealing with or going through in your relationship?
Not on my end, but I'm going to pass this microphone to him so that he can.
Okay.
He's pretty much had that experience I had.
Okay, Stephen.
It's not something that I would like to elaborate on too much, but we did have people who disagreed with some of the topics that we had because they thought that it was relative to us,
Okay.
in which technically it's not. It's really an impromptu show to where we just like, you know what? Oh, maybe we should talk about that on the show,
Okay.
and then that's what we do. But we had people who actually took it literal and
made
felt
it
like
your situation.
exactly,
Right.
and felt like, oh, you already ruined one relationship while you're trying to ruin
Wow.
another one. Yeah, so it went deep. So
Okay.
people
How did
take
that
things
make
very
you
personal.
feel like that people would have such opinions about what they thought you guys were going through, or even what they thought maybe you did in a past relationship?
Well, in my opinion, I think they should mind their business.
Absolutely.
But and on the same token, I think some people take their own baggage and they relate it to other people's situations. So
Right.
depending on what that person was going through in their life, they thought that this was their platform to be able to discuss it.
Hmm.
But the issue that arose was that she took it more as a direct personal attack against me, opposed to looking at it from a perspective of this is just a conversation. It's really not that serious. So, like I said, it's an impromptu conversation that we just have. It's not nothing that's relative to us. It's mainly just talk.
So behind the scenes, did you guys ever have a falling out because of those topics of others?
Well, hmm oh, you mean as far
But
as her
yeah,
and I?
because of their opinions of what they might have said, did that make you guys have an issue or?
No,
Okay.
no, we never take any of it personally. If you ever take a look at our show, you'll see that we have a lot of fun and we laugh and joke and things like that. I think it's more from the outside that we get backlash than it is from her and I. Yeah.
This seems to really be working for you guys. Is there any drawbacks that you have from being so open?
I don't see any drawbacks. I believe that her and I, as I said, in our community, we don't communicate a lot in relationships,
Okay.
and
When
I
you say our
think
community, you mean the black community?
you can say that.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
in our culture, we
Okay.
don't communicate very well. So I feel like if we're able to have open discussion about things that, even if it touches home or anything like that, if you're able to have an open discussion, it leads to the ability to communicate with one another.
Absolutely.
So, as far as the limitations and everything like that, I didn't know we had limitations on it. But
Well, maybe that's something you guys could,
well, yeah,
renegotiate. You said something about, every so often renegotiate and stuff.
well,
There you
I
go.
get my lawyer on the phone and we'll talk about it. But yeah, but to go back to your question, nah, we don't set any limitations on it or anything. So, um, yeah.
The only drawback that I see that we possibly have, just me personally, that my dad sees all this stuff.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's about it. So that's about my only drawback.
So that's a drawback that your father
Yeah,
sees.
that
it?
he sees all this.
Okay.
I don't like to let my parents into everything, and they get to see a different side of me.
Yes, yes. Okay. Do you guys have any advice that you possibly could give to our viewers or other couples that may be thinking of starting this type of platform?
Have fun and just be yourself. How about you?
I would say don't limit yourself. As she said, have fun with it, and just don't take anything personal. Just go for it.
If you guys don't mind, could you tell people how they can follow your story or continue to follow your story on social media?
Okay, we have a Facebook page called Mental Stimulation. It's an open group. We do videos, not every week, but often. And when we do the videos, we ask questions. We ask people for their feedback. We also plan events. We have an event coming up in October, Masquerade Gala. Stogies and Stellos Masquerade Gala. It's benefiting the National Kidney Foundation, and you can get information on our page for that, or donate to the National Kidney Foundation on our page as well. So just follow us on our Facebook page, Mental Stimulation.
Well, you guys, you heard it there. I would like to thank you guys so much for coming in and sharing your story. And I wish you guys many years of blessings with your marriage.
Thank you.
40% of Americans date online. And so that's about 20% of all relationships start online. Now that's way different from what it used to be. My mom still is scary every time I tell her I have a date and I met him online. Because, 10, 20, 30 years ago,
Unheard of.
nobody was dating online.
Hi, this is Marla for Smooches in the City. On our first episode, we're going to talk about how you can look good beginning with your skin.
Hi, this is Teri, and welcome to Smooches in the City. Have you seen the movie Girls Trip? Are you ready to take a girls trip yourself? If so, stay tuned and pack your bags, because we're going to discuss the 5 top destinations to make a fabulous girls trip.
I would like to welcome Dr. Marquita Williams and also Vakeycha to Smooches in the City. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. First off, could you share with us who you are and your background?
Yes, of course. I am Dr. Marquita. I'm a psychologist, a life coach, a relationship expert. I've been doing this for over 20 years, and I just love and helping people to connect in love.
Oh, this should be interesting.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yes.
So we came to talk about online dating, right?
Yes.
And there are going to be some stories. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the statistics, because dating has changed over the years.
Yes, it has.
About 40% of Americans date online.
Wow.
And so that's about 20% of all relationships start online. Now that's way different from what it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
My mom still is scary every time I tell her I have a date and I met him online. Because, 10, 20, 30 years ago,
unheard of.
nobody was dating online.
Right.
And it's more women than men that are dating online. So it's about 57% of women date online and only 42% of men date online. But we're out there, we're doing it, and we're finding a lot of love.
Yes, we are.
But it's not all good. Everybody doesn't find love. And we're going to find out a little bit about that from Keisha.
Okay, Miss Vakeycha, tell us your story and what happened.
Well, my online dating experience was very short-lived. What I find is folks really lack integrity. They build these big profiles and they say I'm this and I'm that. And when you go to contact them and reach out to them, you'll have a conversation or two and find out that they are not who they say they are.
Yes.
So for me, I do not have patience. So I think my online experience was about 30 days. They have those trial runs, 30 days. And I just couldn't do it. I'm much better out in the world. Very traditional, like Dr. Marquita mom. Never had a problem meeting a guy traditionally, the supermarket, church, library, school.
But do you find that even with meeting a guy in church or at the library, at the market, you still don't know who that person is, and you still have to do your research. So what do you think the difference is that they build a profile about themselves? Because when you meet someone, don't you feel as though they send their representative before the real person shows up?
Absolutely. But with online dating, I guess for me, I thought, well, they're building a profile. So they're writing who they are. I'm 32, 42, 52. I am an executive director. I have no children. I'm well traveled. And it's like, wow, he's a keeper.
Mhm.
You know, let me talk to this one and find out, they're not the executive director. But, they had 10 children and they're living with their mother.
That's a nightmare.
So what Keisha is talking about is 53% of people who have online profiles lie. Yes, 53%. That's a lot of people.
I think people in general lie.
Yes, this is true. Women lie about their age, and so women's pictures are older, and men lie about their jobs and their income.
Yes.
So they're not the executive director,
Right.
apparently.
With the janitor.
53% of the people. So that makes it a little bit scary. But you're absolutely right. You have to vet people online like you vet people in life, right? Ask the right questions, ask all the questions, and get to know a person in the same way that you would if you met him at the church or you met him at the grocery store. So, Miss Fabulous, I understand that you have a positive dating story.
I absolutely do. I actually like dating online. I'm not someone who's as social as people may think that I am. I don't go out like I used to, so I find that dating online was a tool for me to meet people, and it allowed me to meet people that I normally wouldn't be able to meet that maybe lived in a different town or a different city. But yes, I met a gentleman online, and we're still together. It's been a little over a year.
Congratulations.
Yes, and like you said, there's a lot that you have to figure out about who that person really is. But what I liked was, as soon as I got his number, it linked me to his Facebook page. So I was able to see another side of him without him telling me. I was able to see what his status was on Facebook. I was able to see his children. I was able to see what type of job he really had. I was able to see the type of things that he posts. I think it says a lot about a person how they post on social media. So I find it was easier to date online than it is to meet a guy in the store. And nowadays, guys don't like to communicate, or people in general don't like to communicate via phone. They're texting. I like to hear your voice because texting, you can get a wrong idea about what they're saying. But the gentleman that I met, everything is going well. We do have highs and lows, just like every relationship. But so far, I really enjoy my experience. And he wasn't the first guy I dated online. He was the first guy I took serious and that I actually dated. But I had some bad experiences too of the lies, and they're not who they say they are, and things like that. But I find it to be exciting, like going on and see if they left me a message, and so I enjoy it. I feel more comfortable with that than meeting sometimes face to face because I am a little shy.
Well, you know what? I feel the same way. I feel the same way. There are pluses and minuses to any dating situation. And I myself have dated online. And, sometimes it's been great, sometimes it's been not so great. But the vetting and, sort of being able to find out who that person is, as you're describing, is really important. You have to do that in real life. I will Google you. Okay?
Absolutely.
If I get your name, I'm going to go to your LinkedIn account, your Facebook account. I need to know everything and your mama's name.
And that's what's great about social media.
Exactly. Technology today. Absolutely. So I think that, we all have a variety of different stories with online dating. And the beauty of 2017 is that there are multiple ways to find love, right? So I think that if you are dating online, have an open mind, right? Be fun about it. It's not so bad to be single. Embrace the possibilities, but also be very, very cautious, like you would if you were meeting someone at the grocery store. Don't misrepresent yourself.
Yes. I think that's a big part too. Sometimes we always look at the guy as saying they misrepresent, but sometimes we do as well.
We absolutely do. Don't misrepresent yourself. Be realistic and clear about what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Because, oftentimes we as women, we got this list, got to be over 6 feet and 6 incomes and a fancy car. But what about,
integrity?
Integrity and character and Christian value, and or the gentleman who's 5'7", has a stable job, pays his own bills, don't live with his mama. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
There's a problem with that.
Yeah, whatever people's
with my
circumstances
age, my
are.
mother lives with me.
Right.
So, someone could look at me like, but my mother's older, and I care for her. But I don't want to date a guy whose mom lives with
But if
Or-
his mother, he cared about his mother, and he was taking care
I'm
of his
not doing
mother.
it.
Not at all.
No, because if my mom lives with me and your mom live with you,
That limits our possibilities.
Yeah.
Well, that goes back to do know what you want
yes.
and do be focused and clear about it. And at the end of the day, embrace the possibilities of love, and you will find or be found in the way that makes sense to you.
When we lose the moisture in our skin, and I know we should replace it, what's the best type of moisturizer? What should that moisturizer actually contain? Because a lot of women, don't necessarily have a regimen, but we all know we need a moisturizer. We need to replace that moisture that we lose in our skin during bathing or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's another great question.
Up next, we have Marla talking about how to keep your skin healthy and looking good.
Hi, this is Marla Fowlkes, and welcome to Smooches in the City. I'm so excited today because I am here with the awesome Lorraine McDaniels, who is the esthetician, and today we're going to talk about skincare. So, for all of our viewers out there who were wondering, what kind of skincare system we should have and how we should get healthier skin, we're going to talk about that today. So, Lorraine, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you this afternoon?
I am awesome. So, as a beauty consultant myself, I thought this subject was very interesting. A lot of women need like a little bit more answers about how they can take care of their skin. So, explain to the viewers exactly what does an esthetician do.
Well, actually, an esthetician is a licensed professional in most areas. And we are licensed to help you take care of your skin via facials. We also do makeup and we also do body waxing.
Awesome. So, you are all licensed? When we hear esthetician, does that mean that you're a makeup artist as well?
It does mean that I'm a makeup artist as well. Yes.
That is awesome. So, in your practice, what are the problematic areas that you see women may come to you to get taken care of? Because sometimes we don't know what our skin type is, and then we end up with all these issues. So, what do you see in your practice?
So overall, in the years of experience that I've had, the most problematic areas for women are hyperpigmentation, which is discoloration of the skin. Also, around that thinning eye area, they have issues with either darkness in that area or puffiness in that area. And what I tend to do with the clients that I have served over time is we do services with skin brighteners to help the hyperpigmented areas. And as far as the eye area is concerned, there's a cosmeceutical line that I love that infuses vitamin C to help in the production of the elastin and collagen, and that actually shapes the form of our skin.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm very familiar with vitamin C.
Yeah.
Vitamin C does wonders
Yes,
for our
yes, yes,
skin.
yes, yes.
But I always wondered, like, because some women do not know how to determine their skin type, how do we figure out if we have dry skin? I mean, some of our skin goes through, it goes through those changes when the seasons change.
Absolutely.
But for the most part, we do have a type. But how do we determine what type of skin we have?
I think that's an excellent question, and I'm glad that you're asking me that question. One of the things that I would like to share is genetically, we are born with a skin type. And so things that happen with our skin from the environment, it has a lot to do with our skin type as well. So we have oily skin, we have acneic skin. Oily skin also includes that T-zone area that we hear about, which is
Yes,
from the
that's what I
forehead,
have.
the forehead, and so do I.
Yes.
from the forehead in that little nasal area down to the chin. We also have dry skin, and then we also have sensitive skin. An old-fashioned remedy to help you to kind of know what your skin type is. You can take actually a tissue, like a Kleenex tissue. You can actually press that on your face. If it comes off oily, you know you definitely have oily skin. Definitely.
The tissue test.
The tissue test, yes.
Awesome. That is very. I never heard of that, but it actually does work because we use the
Old-fashioned
beauty
remedy.
bladders, right? Which is tissue paper kind of feel to it, but it actually does absorb the skin. So, another one of the questions I would like to ask you, which is very common, is when we lose the moisture in our skin, and I know we should replace it. What's the best type of moisturizer? What should that moisturizer actually contain? Because a lot of women, don't necessarily have a regimen, but we all know we need a moisturizer. We need to replace that moisture that we lose in our skin during bathing or whatever.
Yes, absolutely. And again, that's another great question. Some people use Vaseline. Not a good thing.
Not a good.
Not a good thing. Um, Again, this is something that depends on our skin type. So we just talked about skin types. And so what we want to do is we want to find a moisturizer that actually has in it the ingredients that target what we're actually trying to um, actually solve with our skin. So if we have redness in our skin, we want to find something that will target that sensitivity. If we have flakiness, dryness, we want to find something that will actually target that. If we have, again, that oiliness or the acne, we want to find an ingredient that will actually target that.
Yeah, because like I said, we mentioned the vitamin C, which is really great, especially when it comes to the collagen that we lose as we age.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
the moisture, I've seen so many people use a whole lot of different types of things to try to moisturize their face. And like you said, Vaseline will clog the pores. So I'm like, oh, please don't put that on your face.
Absolutely.
Now, with that being said, a lot of women will tell me that they don't use a skincare regimen, like they only use soap and water. Is that necessarily a bad thing, or it's not really replacing any kind of nutrients that we lose in bathing or the dryness or the cleanliness? So, if you're just using soap and water, how does that affect your skin?
Another great question. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, actually, with soap actually gets a bad rap, but there are lathering soaps that will dry the skin out. There's a recent article in Dermoscope magazine and actually targets using soap, but soap actually has to have the pH balance as our skin has. There are soaps that have glycerin. Glycerin actually attracts moisture to the skin. So that's not a bad thing, especially for oily skin. You also hear of now some soaps that actually have things in it like avocado oil. You hear of that, or you hear of coconut oil. Um, those are good for the skin as well. You also hear of some soaps that also have in it things that will help brighten up the skin, meaning certain herbs like barberry or blackberry or things of that nature. That's good to target the dark marks and things of that nature that are going on with the skin. So when you are talking about soaps, soaps with a good pH balance are not bad for the skin. And it also depends on the preference of the person. Some people like the feel of just a creamy cleanser.
Yeah, that's me.
Some people love the feel of soap. So it just depends on the individual and what they want.
That's a great answer. Yeah, because I was wondering about that. Some people still use the bar versus something that comes in the liquid form or whatever.
Absolutely.
But I'm one of the cream. I like the creamy lather because it makes me feel clean. My face feel clean rather than something that is just like a solution that I'm wiping across my face. But it's one of those things where it does come down to preference. So I'm excited about that. That is awesome because I was like, oh my goodness. As a consultant, we hear so many things. I mean, you wouldn't believe. Well, you probably do believe it, but some of the women will come up with, I only do this, or I use Aquaphor, or I use, Vaseline, like you said, or cocoa butter. everything to me, and I'm not an esthetician, but as a beauty consultant, it actually clogs the pores. Like everything they mentioned puts a coat on that top layer of the skin. So I'm thinking, in asking you that question, in your moisturizer, like should it be like super emollient or should it be a light moisturizer? Because sometimes light is not enough, especially in the winter. So I'm just asking the question because I'm not sure about that. I just know that certain, nutrients and like vitamin E and D is good for the skin. But in those, when the seasons change like that or you get different types of moisturizers, what do you consider? Do you really need a heavy moisturizer? Is probably the best question.
So again, we're talking about skin type. It depends on our skin type. One of the ingredients that you should have is definitely an SPF in your moisturizer, especially during the daytime. And an SPF as low as 15, and you can go higher, but at least an SPF in your moisturizer when you do use a moisturizer. Also, hyaluronic acid is good because it attracts moisture and it helps to give you that super moisture that you may be looking for. And again, we're talking about ingredients that are based on your skin type. So the ingredient in your moisturizer should also combat any flakiness, any dryness, any redness that's going on with the skin. Yes, we do.
Especially women, because we're a little hormonal, so it gets out of whack sometimes. And when you said I think you mentioned like that discoloration. Sometimes it's temporary for us, but how do we actually treat that? I know you mentioned that, like in your practice, how do you treat the discoloration?
So again, just going back to the hyperpigmentation, which again is the dark marks and dark circles that are on the skin. There are certain things, certain ingredients in skin brighteners that help to actually target that. One of the ingredients can be licorice. Now, if it is something that I think warrants doctor's care, then I can refer the person to see a dermatologist because sometimes it could be maybe the dermatologist may want to give them something that has hydroquinone in it, and usually that's only a doctor can prescribe a higher dose of the hydroquinone because with myself as an esthetician, it would be a product that would have a smaller dosage than what the actual dermatologist would be able to prescribe to that client.
Awesome, oh goodness. You just got a plethora of everything going on.
Experience, life.
I'm so excited to talk to you because a lot of women just come to me with all types of issues regarding acne, and sometimes as an adult you get those breakouts and they really don't know what's the best thing to put on their face. So I guess in closing, can you tell our viewers like what is the best regimen? Like how would they, if they were new at this and they were okay, I need a skincare system. What can I put on my face that will continue, where my face would be moisturized, where I would have the SPF protection, um, and I would have that glow that I want. What would be the ideal system?
Okay, I would like to answer that question and add on to the question. Remember that your skin is an organ and it's the largest organ of the body. So we want to eat right. That will help to take care of the skin. And we also want to exercise. That helps to take care of the skin. And an overall skincare regimen is something that you would choose that you find that's best for you, that gives you a good cleanser, a good toner, a good moisturizer.
Excellent. Well, I thank you, Lorraine McDaniels, for joining us. And
Thank
that
you
is the
for
end of our segment. So thank you, viewers, for tuning in.
Hi, this is Obioma Martin, your accountability coach, And today I'm talking about acceptance. How do you accept the things that you can't control? And how do you accept the things that you cannot change? And this includes people, places, and things. And so I want to give you a few strategies so that when you are dealing with difficult people, places, and things, you can remember three simple things to do. Number one, identify what the problem is. Is it your problem or their problem? A lot of times we suffer from what I like to call the savior syndrome, which means that we're always trying to jump in and save someone else's problems. But you cannot do that. You cannot even save yourself. So, number one, identify the problem. If it is someone else's problem, accept it, leave it alone, park it there, and do not make it yours. Number two, you have to understand that at the end of the day, you will only be responsible for yourself. You will never be held responsible for what someone else does. You will only be held responsible for what you do. And then the last point, you guys, this is really, really important. You have to forgive yourself. You have to accept the fact that you are not perfect and that things happen, mistakes happen. Sometimes we say things we don't want to say. Sometimes, life happens, right? But you have to forgive yourself and you have to forgive other people and just accept that life is happening to you as well as to other people around you. And that's how you begin to accept the things, people, and places that you cannot change. Again, this has been Obioma Martin, your accountability coach. Thank you for joining me today on Smooches in the City.
Hi, this is Teri from Smooches in the City. Today we're going to talk about the 5 top girls trip locations. Number 1, the City of Angels, LA. There you can do dining, shopping. If you're into the celebrity sightings, Hollywood Boulevard. And if your coin is right, take a drive to Beverly Hills. Rodeo Drive is the place to be. Number 2, NYC, the Big Apple. There you can dine as well. Plenty of shopping. Taking a show on or off Broadway. Number 3, Las Vegas. Sin City, baby. There you can do shopping, dining, taking a show, Cirque du Soleil, of course, and the fabulous hotels, themed hotels, that is. Number 4, Miami, Little Havana. There you can do shopping, dining, beach life, yacht life, nightlife, your choice. And number 5, New Orleans, the Big Easy. Pace the Louisiana culture. There you can dine, you can shop as well. Take a stroll down Bourbon Street. There you'll hear live bands or karaoke. The choice is yours. So that wraps up domestic travel. Now, if you're looking to travel internationally, drum roll please. London. London's the number 1 location for the perfect girl trip. While you're there, you can book a tour to the Buckingham Palace. There, you may just run into the royal family. Up next, our girl Setoria will fill you in on the latest Smooches music project and the next issue of Smooches Woman Magazine.
Hey, this is your girl Setoria right here with Smooches in the City. If you haven't heard, the Smooches Music Project has been making a whole lot of noise in these streets. I actually had the opportunity to sit down with Mr. Herb Middleton, who is the project producer for the project, and this is what he had to say.
So, do you have a favorite music project that you've worked on?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked on this project for 2 years,
Yes.
and the name of the project is called the Smooches Music Project.
Nice, nice, nice. So, tell me, how did you actually get introduced to the Smooches music, well, the Smooches project, not the music project, but the Smooches project? How were you actually introduced to that project?
So during the course of my relationship with Daryl and Chante, you know, they had a a program called Exposure Nation. That's where I kind of really got introduced to them. And a guy named Ali used to work with
Okay,
him. So
okay.
he was one that kind of connected me to the whole what was
Okay.
going on at Acereel Studio. So we developed a business relationship, then turned friendship, and then when I found out about Smooches, I was like really excited about it because the fact that it was something that was helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned, because I love people, I'm just a lover of people. Just to do anything that could build people up, you know, it gets my creative juices flowing. It gets my interest. So.
And I was going to ask you, how did you actually come up with the idea of creating a music project for the movement? So what do you think that the music project is going to add to the whole movement?
Well, if you look at music as a whole, music is nothing but advertisement. You know, music is used in every aspect, in every area of advertisement, whether you're advertising Pampers, whether you're advertising love, even if you're advertising hate, you know, it's music. So, you know, with this being so a positive movement, like I believe that the music supports, you know, will support the movement and help propel it to different people all across the globe because music is a universal language also.
Right.
So and it's, you know, the music is very soulful, you know, of course, you know, and I believe that it fits like a hand in a glove.
So tell me a little bit about the artists on the project. How did you select them, and how did you even come up with the type of music that you were gonna put on the project?
I was introduced to an artist named Setoria, who happened to be a Smooches model.
I think I heard of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's dope, man. She is dope.
Yeah, she's cool.
Yeah.
So picking artists for the project wasn't hard because I'm connected to endless list of artists. What I number one, the first thing I looked for was the talent, and then I looked for women, for artists who had curves. I looked for the women who could women and artists that could come to the table and really embrace the project. I wasn't looking for the talent only, because to me this is a heart thing.
Right.
And my heart is in it. So I really wanted, you know, you can't make anybody have your heart. So through trial and error, there are some people that were part of the project that are no longer part of the project. I found out, you know, which is no put down on them, but I really just stuck to having people that feel like, you know what, I'm proud of this movement. I like what it's doing, so that when they do their music, they do it from a real place, and when they perform, it be from a real place, and when they support each other, it just be a whole conglomerate of a positive energy.
Yeah.
So, Miss Fabulous, as you can see, the Smooches Music Project is making waves.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And we have some of the heavy hitters from the Smooches Music Project on the cover of the next issue of Smooches Woman Magazine. I heard you were there.
Yes, Setoria, I was there as it all went down. Let's check out what happened. Welcome to Smooches in the City. I'm your girl, Miss Fabulous. We're behind the scenes doing the cover shoot for Smooches Woman Magazine Volume 3. Everyone is here. They're being prepped. They're being styled fabulous. Come on back. Let's see what's going on. Hi, we're here with Carol Riddick, and she is being styled by Nate Jackson from Nate Jackson's Hair Studio. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well, thank you.
Are you ready for this fabulous photo shoot that we're doing today for the cover?
I am so excited. I'm more excited than I can explain.
Hey, what's up?
You are.
That I am. We're here with the fabulous Jay Pratt and his designs. Let's go back and see his fashions. Come on. Hi, we're here with Jermaine Pratt from J Pratt Boutique in New Jersey. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. I'm super excited. The women that actually want to be on the cover. I've worked with one of them. These next two, I'm super excited to work with. I've never worked with them before, so I'm just excited to see how these looks are going to turn out. It's going to be a fabulous shoot.
We're here with Chante Bradley, the CEO of Smooches Magazine and the Smooches Movement. How are you doing today?
I am awesome today. Thank you for asking.
How excited are you to watch your vision come together like this?
Well, I am super excited about today's cover shoot for the volume 3 of Smooches Woman Magazine. I am so excited and over the moon about the people we have that's going to be a part of the shoot today. We have Carol Riddick, we have Mr. Herb Middleton, we have Allison Williams, and we have Desi Neal, who was actually featured on the last issue, but she is a part of our Smooches Music Project. So we have all these fabulous, wonderful, talented people that's going to be on the cover of the next issue of Smooches Woman Magazine, Volume 3.
Could you please tell us about the song that they collaborated on?
Okay, so the song is called Look at Us, and it's a collaboration of several artists that's a part of the Smooches Music Project. However, these are the top artists that's a part of that particular collaboration. This is the purpose of the cover shoot, is to celebrate the collaboration of Look at Us.
Hi, we are here with Desiree Neal, aka Desi. How are you doing today?
I'm amazing, honey. We're family. You know, Smooches is my home. I'm delighted.
How excited are you to be on this collaboration?
The fact that I'm no stranger to Smooches, I feel extremely comfortable. Again, this is home for me. I'm excited for the other ladies to be here along with Herb so that they can experience the love and camaraderie of Smooches.
Hi, we're here with Nate Jackson from Nate Jackson Hair Studios here in Philadelphia. How are you doing today?
I'm awesome.
I'm doing well, thank you. Please share with us, how do you come up with the different looks for the ladies today? What was your inspiration?
The inspiration was the style of the movement. It was themed royalty, so we make a little nice, chic, upscale type of hair, and then it depends on hair texture and stuff. So it was pretty much a breeze.
Well, we just got off set with Desi, and she looks absolutely fabulous. When she came down the hallway, she was breathtaking. Hi, we're here with Allison Williams. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling wonderful, blessed, and highly favored, honey.
Amen. Okay. So what is your expectations from this photo shoot, also from the single that you ladies are putting out?
Well, first of all, I just want to say that I'm totally honored to be a part of it. I think it's an incredible movement, and I think that it will serve to empower women around the world, globally, and just to be a part of knowing that we're making a difference is something to really look forward to. And the music just sets it off. I mean, Herb Middleton has given us a platform to use all of our talents and to stretch all of our muscles and to just come together in the sisterhood.
Well, you heard it first. We're here behind the scenes with Smooches Women's Magazine. Stay tuned for more. So today, ladies, we talked about relationships and online dating. Have you ladies have any experience with online dating?
I have.
Tell us all about it.
Oh, goodness. You know what? I went for the cheap site, to be honest with you. I did not do Match.com. Okay. I did not spend any money. And so I think you get what you pay for. Oh. And since I didn't pay for nothing,
you got nothing.
Girl, it was crazy. So I think it took about I don't know, maybe like 3 months before I actually, kind of paired myself with someone.
Okay, that's not that long of a time to be on. 3 months?
Yeah, no, it was like 3 months, and we dated on and off for like a year and a half.
Okay, so it was a good experience.
It ended not so well, but it ended regular.
Okay, so that has really nothing to do with online dating. It's just that's what happens in relationships.
Yeah.
Sometimes dating.
Because the thing is, at first I was a little skeptical about it because I didn't want to be considered as a loser. Because you could just it's something different. So it's frowned upon sometimes.
Online dating, you think?
Well, when I did it, yeah, because it was when I did it. So and it was years ago. So but now that it's so like everyone does it, it's very common now. But back in the days, in the beginning, it was like, why you got to go online and only creeps are on there, and it's kind of scary, kind of spooky. You're chatting with a stranger, but things have changed, and I think it's totally nothing wrong with it.
So do you still online date or no?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. Will I ever do it again? Maybe.
Okay.
I may pay for it this time.
Sometimes you have to pay for it.
I pay for it.
Okay. How about how do you ladies feel about couples that share their relationships online? Do you feel like that's a good idea, or what are the pros and cons of sharing your relationship online from what you guys see on social media?
I think it's good to a certain extent. Is a thing such as too much information. So if you want to keep it light, you want to celebrate birthdays, special events, I think that's great. But when you get into, if you had a fight last night, we don't need to know about it. So those kind of things, I think if you're telling, the audience or the world too much information, especially on social media, people tend to take that in a different direction. And you don't want people, looking at you in a certain light. Some people say, well, I don't care what people think of me, but you do, because you wouldn't have put it on there.
Do.
Exactly.
I have shared my story already about online dating, and I am dating. And I have made the mistake of sharing too much online, and then people saw the highs and lows. So now I understand, like you said, you can share a birthday or maybe something that you're celebrating, but I will put emotions. And then when I'm okay with the situation, people are like, ooh, I didn't know that you would go back. So, I've
and now they're
learned to,
judging
like,
you and
don't-
talking about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, ladies, I had the pleasure of discussing Girls Trip. Who saw that movie?
I've seen it twice.
2 times.
2, bang, bang, twice.
I've seen it. Yes.
No bangs over here.
No bang?
I didn't see it at all.
Okay.
I went to the movies, but I didn't see it.
Okay, but here's the $1 million question. Who would you identify with and why? Which character?
I think I identified most with Queen Latifah. I do have some of the traits of the crazy friend, but Queen's character most definitely. She's a go-getter. She's ambitious, but she has fallen a little bit, and she's too ashamed to let people know her struggle. So I can identify with that. Being a business owner, I go through times where things aren't that great, but I still try to save face so people don't really know my actual struggle. Yeah.
Right. For me, same thing. Queen Latifah would be the one that I would closely relate myself to, only because she is like in all of that craziness that were going on in the movie. She was the voice of reason. So even though all of that, everything was falling apart and they were arguing, she still stayed true to herself. She still was able to come forward and it's like, this is who I am. This is what I didn't do. So I thought she was just like me, for real. I'm definitely not the crazy one, because I'm not the confrontational girl. That's not me.
No, I don't mean confrontational. I mean, she was crazy.
But
Like,
she
she'll try
was.
anything. That's me.
She was funny.
Now, Setoria, I know you didn't see it.
I didn't see
but
it.
you saw previews.
I saw the trailer. I saw the trailers. So even though I didn't see the movie, I can definitely identify with Tiffany Haddish. Because I didn't know that she was confrontational. I'm not confrontational, but I'm a free spirit, and she seemed to be more of a free spirit. So I'm like, that's my girl right there.
The outgoing girlfriend.
The outgoing girlfriend. Yes, just want to have fun.
I understand. So for myself, I would have to say Miss Jada Pinkett, minus those clothes.
Absolutely.
Okay. Minus the clothes. But I am more of the kind of sort of laid back, but I can get a little, out there, just a tad.
What kind of music do you like, Teri?
My genre is very
No.
wide.
No.
However, I like trap music.
Yeah. So you're not that laid back.
They say
What?
pretty girls like trap music.
All right.
Don't judge me. I like trap music.
I know that's right.
But Jada was laid back. But then she came out of her shell. So I'm kind of like that, you know. I'm a little laid back a little bit, but I can be a little aggressive sometimes too.
Mhm.
So, but she's the one I would say I most identified with.
I
would have
think
said
you just undercover.
I would have
Because for the simple fact that you like trap music, that tells a whole lot. Wait a minute, girlfriend. Hold on.
Girl, I love the trap music.
It's the car ride. It's the car ride.
I'm sorry.
I think we don't know what be going on after
That beat, honey. When them beats drop and that trap music. Girl.
Mhm.
Fresh cup of coffee in the
Girl.
I think you got
Sipping
double
tea.
life going on. We're gonna have to talk after the show. Because I think there's something that we can discover here. You know, Miss Teri is Miss Teri.
That's right.
Well, there you have it. Our very first episode of Smooches in the City, where curves are
Bold.
Confident.
And beautiful.
smooches.